is relayed, the more differentiated it becomes, the more specialized it becomes. So the core of our universe, the core of our galaxy, gives off a specific consciousness intent. Follow me now. It gives off a specific consciousness intent of higher universal mind. That intent becomes synthesized as creation. That creation through suns, and I told you in the last time, a sun is the youngest form of life in the cosmos. And that sun, as it begins to peek through, it then becomes a relay station of consciousness throughout the whole galaxy. And it relays light from the core, what the Mayans called the Hunab Ku. The Hunab Ku holds the instructions for your consciousness time zone. So wherever your zip code, your consciousness zip code is, you have a specific consciousness revelation that you have to achieve. All of this is based upon a holographic dynamic. And you are in a gigantic holograph of the universal mind. It is not one-dimensional. And I know you are trying to look at this thing as it is omnidimensional. This is how I'm trying to speak to you. So your eyes, like they said in the movie, why is my eyes hurting so much? You said you've never seen before. So why is my head hurting? Why is my back of my back? What is he talking about? I am taking you out of your linear, your blinders, and having you see three-dimensionally now who you are. You are not in a universe that where you look out in the sky, that's the direction. You are in an omniverse. And this is a holographic design of the mind, of the universal mind. And you are participating in a hologram. And where you are positioned on that hologram, you are picking up specific points of light and information beamed to you based upon your position in the hologram. The hologram is being changed right now. That's why there is no mothership coming. This is the ship that will be changed to a whole other environment where you will be picking up whole other forms of light, whole other lattices, whole other directionals coming at you all at once. Did y'all want me to stop for a minute and just can I digest? No, everything's cool, right? We can still go. Okay now, because I'm pacing. You know how you get one guy out there to pace and get him exhausted and then you run him over, right? Okay. Now, when you distort the hydrogen essence of the suns and its ability to give you the helium, all the different forms of elements, because remember, all of the elements that's in your body, you don't need to be getting from food. The sun creates the elements based upon what you breathe. So it's necessary to pollute the atmosphere so that the solar radiation that creates the nutrients, what do you call it, the minerals. The sun creates minerals. So the best way to do it for you to stop getting minerals through the breath, because the breath is the breath of life. You are the breath of life. You're not the spinach of life. You're not the Mickey D's of life. You are the breath of life. So the breath is supposed to give you everything that you need. But when you distort the atmosphere, when you distort the environment, you cannot be nurtured through your primary source anymore. And then this now distills the atmosphere into the blood. This is the secret of Jesus changing the water to wine at the marriage of Cana. If you look at the word Cana, it means place of the reeds. If you look inside your lungs, it's nothing but a constitution of reeds. That's what your bronchioles are. The marriage of Cana is taking in the solar radiation as food, condensing it as the waters into the wine that is your blood. You see, oh, it gets deep. It's deep. I mean, after this, why would you even want to go to school? What are they teaching our children? What are they teaching us in these places? When you have done this, when you have distorted the light programming, this will interfere or distort the DNA's ability to determine individual hereditary characteristics or be manipulated to create freaks of nature. Now, it has been told that our planet is being terraformed by different types of species who live in these kinds of environments. Now, these kind of environments never existed when we were around. We have adapted. We die sooner than the 1,000 to 2,000 years that we lived. Why is that? Because the atmosphere has been terraformed in order to keep someone else comfortable, in order to feed someone else, in order to sustain someone else. There once was a hydrogen halo surrounding our Earth that fed the higher frequencies of universal mind directly to our DNA pattern. It was a triangular harmonic that connected the sun's hydrogen harmonic and the Earth's hydrogen harmonic to that of the body's hydrogen harmonic. Today, the fallen elders, or as they're called, I call them, the elders, the dark elders, and I don't mean the dark elders like us. I'm talking about those who live in the shadows of your awareness, inhabit a great portion of humanity's evolutionary envelope. These entities have walked into you. They have taken you all over. There's some of them, you walk down the street, you can see them right away. They don't even look like they're from here. They're walking around with a blank stare. They really look like they are not from this planet. You can pick them up. You know what the clones look like. We told you what they would look like and what they're about. They have this glare. They have this blank stare. They deteriorate very quickly. But you remember that they inhabit, these entities inhabit a great portion of humanity's evolutionary envelope. Better yet, they occupy by intrusion based upon your ignorance of yourself. That's why people who have thoughts that are not their own, sometimes you wake up and you say, damn, why did I think of that? Sometimes you wake up and you start saying, oh, wow, what would we look like if my baby was strangled? Oh, and you say, oh. I know. Have you ever had one of them thoughts that came to you and wondered what we should... Where did I get that thought of murdering and killing and somebody dead and mangled, somebody close and loving me? That's them trying to get in. That ain't you. And it's good that you could recognize it and not get caught up in it, because there are some weak enough to get caught up in it. And they follow it, and then they become part of it. That's why these entities took over Hollywood, because they don't have a way to physicalize themselves. So they live as a component of your dreams. You get pictures of alien. And in that, they live because you give life through your thoughts. All of the elements that go into creating a chemical memory gives you pictures, gives you sounds, give you words, give you experiences, and they live inside of that which you have provided them by the chemistry that is you. So they actually create, you try to find out, where do they get these kind of monsters? Who is the one who's designing these? They are working through those entities that they know are part of Hollywood. And they're there to make sure that they have places to live, because when you go look at the movie and you see this and you're getting terrified, they live best with children, because children have a greater impact. They have a greater impact on the memory chemistry of children. That's why you got to be very careful about what you show your children at a very early age. Because they're like cameras that just snap and keep pictures. You know what it was like when you were scared and you saw a monster and you kept that bad boy with you for how long? They live in that. Now I say, oh, get out of here, Reverend Bell. Yeah. Well, yeah, tell me, when you're running from something, you don't know what it is. Like a crop of vegetables, and you can see Matrix with this one, humanity today is cultured like a clam to produce a pearl of energy that is of great value to the fallen elders. Every time you are educated, they have put a sand or stuck a grain of sand somewhere inside of your consciousness. And then it irritates you. And then all of a sudden you make a life for yourself based upon the pearl that your body creates to defend yourself from that sand called education. And you've created a pearl based on your irritation, the fact you got to pay your taxes, your damn rent is due, you get in a fight with your husband, he leaves you, now welfare gets paid, and it's all one dynamic. And they keep putting that sand in. Keep putting that sand in. Every time you wake up, the sand begins with that inject vaccination. From the vaccination, they give you the bottle. And from the bottle, they put you into these nurseries. From the nursery, they put you in there, terraforming you. Like a crop of vegetables, humanity today is cultured like the clam or like the oyster to produce a pearl of energy that is of great value to the fallen elders. Light is the pearl. Today, a vast segment of humanity is waking up out of the sleep. Here's where the problem lies. A vast amount of us are waking up. We don't want to go along with the bullshit anymore. We don't want to listen to all the crap that they're talking about. It don't even seem real anymore. We laugh at it. We talk at the television. I know I do. I hope you all do. I hope you all get up and when you're looking at the news and you hear some bullshit that you start saying back, get the fuck out of here. And you look for something and you throw it at the screen. That's healthy. You start yelling and screaming and getting mad. They can't get in there. That's healthy. It's unhealthy when you're sitting there. Look at that. That's the sign of insanity. If you can look at the news and just be quiet and just imbibe that kind of crap. If you can look at television, if you can look at the television, I mean the movies, when I go to movies, I start talking all kind of shit. What the, you look at that shit. Do you see that? And everybody's right there. What's he talking about? Just shut up, you know. I want to see him shoot him up, you know. The fact that you all are awakening is perilous to the fallen elders. In that you are now weeds growing in their gardens. And a weed grows, boy. Weed is strong as a motherfucker. You cannot, it don't be cultivated. Weed, you can't, shit. You try to cultivate all these things that you do in the vegetable. It looks so nice, it looks so pretty. Weed say, damn that, I'm growing right here. And you gotta, oh man, and you gotta kill it, the shit grows back. Quick. Well, you are the weed in their little garden of ignorance. Now, catch up with me. A cosmo-psycho-biospiritual order. Let me say that again. A cosmo-psycho-biospiritual order that was established eons ago is dismantling because the old restraints of brutality and fear no longer work on you, as in the case of early Christianity. A newer, more insidious method of control must now be instituted. An internal control dynamic, an internal brutality and fear dynamic that can be controlled by the push of a button. Now, the button can be a word. The button can be the change in a temperature around you. The button can be something that you see flash before you. The button can also be pushed on a console. Those who do the work for the fallen lords constitute the conscious and the willing, A, and the unconscious and obedient, B. Let me say that again. Those who work for the fallen lords constitute two kinds. The conscious and the willing, A, and the unconscious and the obedient, B. Those we focus on today inhabit and operate through the priesthood. Listen up. Those we focus on here today inhabit and operate through the priesthood of the temple of medical science, the new Gnostics. The geneticist is the new Gnostic. The Elohim of the Bible were geneticists. Genesis, Genesis, Genesis 1, that's chapter 1, verse 26 says, let us make man in our image after our likeness. We don't know what the fuck they look like. Do they? Do you know what the Elohim look like? No. You don't. Now, here's something deep. Why is the gene so important to the Elohim of today, the new Gnostics. Well, let's look at the word lamp. Lamp of God that taketh away the sins of the world. Let's look at the word lamp, all right? Could you please read the word lamp there and what that means? All of the definitions out loud.
Okay. A device that generates light, heat, or burnt through a wick for illumination. A star, planet, meteor, or other celestial body. Something that illumines the mind or soul. Leave lamp.
That's it. That's it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Lamp? Star? Lamp? How you get star? How you get lamp illumination? He ain't talked about them. Did you? Yeah, well, you put a match to it, got a little flame. The wick is your what? A part of your brain. The pineal. The lamp of God that taketh away the sins of the world. When it gets lit up, all illusion disappears. When your pineal is at full-fledged flight, when the lamp of God is lit up through the Kundalini rising, all illusion disappears. You look into the glass darkly. There is no more fucking with your mind. You have the capabilities to raise that lamp, to light it. Now they say here that the lamp is a celestial body, a meteor, a star, a planet. Well, the word lamp means a device that generates. Did he not say generates? Therapeutic radiation. Where did that come from? A lamp. In the West Indies, my grandmother went over, lifted the bad boy. That's a lamp. You go over in the corner, you flick your switch. That's a lamp. No, it's not. We're looking at the words that you're dealing with. Remember, in the beginning was the word. So the beginning of your illusion is based upon the construct of language and how language is used or misused, or how you are ignorant to how a language is used, or how in your awakening you can use language to unlock the doors that keep you in light code lockdown. A star, planet, or meteor. Something that illuminates the mind or the soul. This is a lamp. A lamp. Well, let's look at the lamp a little further and check out the story about a lamp. What was the most famous story about a lamp? Aladdin. All right, so something told me, who's Aladdin? How you spell Aladdin?
A-L-A-D-I-N.
A-L-L-A, freeze it. Oh, hold on. Hold on, yeah, okay. Allah-Din. Okay, the word din, if you break down the word din, not jinn, jinn, we know what the jinn is, but the word din means dissonant sound. Okay? We know Allah. All right? But din is a dissonant sound. Now, if Allah is God, this person in the body of Aladdin obviously has to be an aspect of God who speaks dissonant notes, who speaks or misinterprets the word. So what does he do in order to find himself, to get his wish? He rubs. Oh, okay. Come on back up here, brother. Need you one more again. So I said, well, let's look at the word rub. Okay. What we got there?
Okay, yeah, I
See the word rub. Start from there, but just keep on reading. Rub now. Wait a minute, hold up. What do we do? What does rub mean? Friction, rub a little with it. Yeah, this is rub, right? That's what you think rub means. Go ahead.
To subject to the action of something that moves back and forth with friction and pressure. To cause to move along a surface with friction and pressure. To irritate, annoy. His laziness was being to rub me. To move along a surface with friction and pressure. To chafe with friction. To cause irritation or annoyance.
Keep going.
Informal. To continue in a given situation, usually with some difficulty.
Hold that. Say that again.
To continue in a given situation, usually with some difficulty.
Go ahead.
To admit rubbing, a blackboard that rubs clean easily. To be transferred by contact or proximity.
Hold on. To be transferred by contact or proximity. Go ahead.
Wish some of her luck with rub off on me.
Okay.
To harp on an unpleasant matter.
Go ahead.
To obliterate by or as if by rubbing. Slang, to kill, murder, rub up. To refresh one's knowledge of.
Wait! Repeat that.
To refresh one's knowledge of.
Second
to
one.
improve or increase the keenness application of friction and pressure. You meant to harp on?
Go ahead.
To obliterate.
Okay, go, keep going.
To obliterate by or as if by rubbing.
All
to
right.
kill,
Right,
murder,
right.
to refresh one's knowledge of.
Okay, hold on. To refresh one's knowledge of. All right? The next one after that line was?
To improve or increase the keenness of a mental faculty.
Hold that right there. Thank you very much, brother. To improve the keenness of mental faculty? Let's go back. Remember we said Aladdin, Allah, dissonant note coming from the word of God. He now has the lamp of God. He rubs it. What does he do then? He increases what? His keenness. Mental faculties. But remember now, this is a lamp he's rubbing. And we know what lamp is now. The lamp is the sun. The lamp is the star. What is he rubbing? Okay. Now he says the word rub is to continue in a given situation, sometimes with great difficulty. To refresh one's knowledge. To improve or increase the keenness of mental faculty. What comes out after that? Spell? What? A genie? Whoa, wait a minute now. Okay, so now the genie comes out of the lamp, which is the star, and grants him 3 wishes. Now, I know you're saying, well, where the fuck is he going with all of this? You think about how language has within it coded information. Now, who knew what rub meant except to rub? You know, your backside or your face or your hair, or rub a little baby's bottom with some cornstarch or something. Who the hell thought it meant, you know, getting into your consciousness acuity? And what? Rub? To exercise the keenness of mental faculty? I want to rub my brain. I want to rub myself with some words. The genie comes out, which is the gene, which is the code for the body. So Allah, din, or the dissonant code, rubs the lamp, which is the light, which is the sun, which is the internal dynamic of light, and then comes out with what? The genie. And the genie gives you 3 wishes. It is said in, what do you call it, in Sanskrit, that you live, you come back 7 times, 3 cycles of 7 times to grant your wish in the flesh. Because all of what you do is based upon what you do in the flesh. Spirit don't do shit. The spirit is just here to accumulate information. The Spirit is part of the component that was developed. It was the light that Lucifer took into the darkness. It was the Prometheus fire that was unaware, though self-aware. You see? And all of it is hidden. The geneticists are now in possession of the lamp, or at least have knowledge of how the lamp works, to release the genie, to get the genie to do its wishes. The lamp or star within us is in the cell nucleus, which contains the chromosomes or light bearers, the light fixtures, the Lucifer matrix within you. Lucifer is the lamp. Lucifer is the wick, and it is the flame. The morning star. The light bringer. The thing that illuminates the mind and the soul. The gene, listen carefully now, the gene occupies the fixed location on the chromosome and has a specific influence. The geneticist occupies a fixed position. Hear me now. The geneticist occupies a fixed position in the hierarchy of the fallen lords and is now in charge of creating and producing specific influences in today's humanity. Let me go back and get that to you one more time. The gene, as it was said before, occupies a fixed location on the chromosome and has a specific influence. The geneticist, or the new Gnostic, occupies a fixed position in the hierarchy of the fallen elders and is now in charge of creating and producing specific influences in today's humanity. Based on the condition of our planet, it would appear that nothing or no one can be saved. And this is what they are telling you, that without them, you cannot be saved. Without the operation, without gene therapy, without the drugs, without all of this that they're doing, they're terraforming your bloodstream. They're damming it up just like they would dam any flowing river so that they could change the dynamic flow of the river and get your hydroelectricity from it. Well, what they're doing is they're damming your bloodstream with all kind of shit. And from that particular dam, they're extracting all kinds of perverted forms of electrical impulses that come out as your behavior. The old order of disease and health, food and nutrition, mind and matter, God and man are either dead or dying. The present human experiment as a species is a dismal failure, according to them. This is what they're telling you. Ye cannot be saved unless ye be born again. And ye are only born again in Jesus Christ. You cannot be protected from all of these germs out here unless you're vaccinated. I'm giving you all of the spiel. You cannot get anywhere in life without an education. Do you hear how they are playing with you and in your head? In reality, man is breaking free. The containment unit or cell or gene is in the process of spiritual mutation, hallelujah, which in turn signals biomolecular freedom from the illusion of the present corporeal agreement. To the fallen elders, this constitutes death in this plane. They cannot allow it. It means that in their garden, the crop of vegetables is turning into an uncontrollable weed. The fallen lords, through the Illuminati geneticists, say, we need a new man. We need a whole new breed of man. Give me a zoom on this. New movie come out. Thank you for giving this to me, Sister Puma. Let me just get this on there first, and then I'm going to show it to everybody else. New movies come out. They got a black man playing Adam and a white woman playing Eve. We need to create a new man. Now, they know that the new man can't come from them. It won't come from them. It can't come from them. And this has nothing to do with racism because I'm getting this information from them. They cannot procreate beyond 2012 at the level, at the velocity, and at the tenacity that the black male and the black female can. Well, they've already started recruiting the black female. Oprah Winfrey is telling you that. Whoopi Goldberg should tell you that. Claire Huxtable should tell you that. And all these other Aunt Jemima Negroes. The name of the movie is The Loss of Sexual Innocence. Wait now, sexual innocence is usually denoted to the female. The innocence now, remember now, the loss of sexual innocence is that the white woman, obviously, has been living in this paradigm where she has been put on this pedestal where, she is the, quintessential angel of womanhood. This is what she has been given. And she is innocent of any kind of thinking of, having some big black butt just jumping all over her. So how do you lose the innocence? You put it up on screen, watching the backside of this big black buck just thrusting away. We're going to lose this innocence. My eyes! What a crock. And this is what they're spoon-feeding to us because now they have to terraform your awareness. They have to make you believe it's all right. We need a new man and a new womb man. The building blocks of life, the genes, shall be rearranged in such a way to create a new man for a new age who will function in the right way. Geneticist says, finally, with gene engineering, all possibilities are open for us. We have ways to escape our own physiological lockdown in this paradigm. All we have to do is genetically alter the fact that we don't have the ability to make the melanin. We don't have the ability to protect ourselves from the higher frequencies of light that are going to inevitably be coming to this planet. And it isn't just higher heat, it's higher information. That's why they're going to start getting melanoma. Because the melanoma is burning up the bullshit. It's cleaning house. It's cleaning genetic house. So now they have to change the infrastructure. They have to start milking and blending and putting together certain blood types that come from between. See, my blood type, they're going to want to find out what's wrong with me and how I get, okay, I got part white, part black, part Spanish, part African, part everything. They're going to want to know what my blood is doing. How come he ain't got pustules coming out of his skin? Well, you can bet they already are terraforming the human body, and they are using the body itself and how it defends itself or how it acclimates to higher frequencies of consciousness. They're already doing that. They're already growing them in pig wombs and in sheep wombs. Now, what is the work of the geneticist? He has transferred human growth hormones to pigs to make them grow faster. He has terraformed the pig because, and this came out of his literature, the skin of the pig is more closely related to the Caucasian skin. That is why he uses that particular animal to test all of his sunblock. The sunblock is tested on the skin of the pig before he puts it out on the market for sale. now found, and this is deep because they told it right here. You got to look at all them off channels. Don't look at this bullshit 2, 4, 5. Look at the off channels because they slip it in there. This is a medical channel. On a medical channel, they said, well, we found that the pig has always been more closely related to man. Which man? Who in fuck are you talking about? You know you're not talking about me. That's bullshit. The pig skin? It's him. Now they have terraformed the pig's whole anatomy, changed the bloodstream, dammed it up with all of their little chemicals, put the human gene into the pig gene, grafted it, did it in such a way that now the pig has created internal organs that can be transferred to human bodies. You can now go down to transplant agencies and put in an order for a pig to grow your blood type, to grow your organs just in case you have a heart attack. Never mind teaching you how not to get a heart attack. We will build a whole industry waiting for you to get your inevitable heart attack. They have all kinds of pigs. They got cows. They got sheep that are growing human shit. They got one with a human head. They say, oh, get the fuck out of here, Reverend Valentine. Bullshit. They got something, a sheep with a human head. Damn right. They're growing human bodies inside of sheep ovaries. Ooh, Yaku is going, he's out of control. Yaku is out of control. And these are Christians. 9 times out of 10, most of these damn geneticists are Christians. They're Christians. Arose by any other name. Now, check this. The process of cross-genetic interspecies breeding, when introduced into humans, not from human to the other species, but from the other species into the human, will create a disease called acromegaly. Now, acromegaly is the disease that Akhenaten had. Now, acromegaly changed him into a hermaphrodite. Now you say, well, damn. One of our greatest kings who believed in one God. They had to kill that motherfucker. You kidding? You come in there with one God perception? All the rest of the gods said, you're out your mind. There's no such thing as one God. There is no such thing as a God. God is a creation of man. And until we understand that, you are God. That the only realization that you have that there is a God is because you have to be God to realize that. Say it again. The only reason you have the realization to realize that there is a God is because you are God. You could not be unless God gave you the realization to be and that you realize that you are. You are God. I'm speaking to God. God's speaking to itself. God has conversations with itself. And this is what it's all about. You ain't waiting for somebody to come down and talk about Jesus spoke to me to do anything. Anytime you think God is speaking to itself. You're waiting for some outside source. And that's the deep part of Christianity, you know, Christian state. Check this out. You can go talking to God all the hell you want. They tell you speak to God, talk to God. But as soon as somebody tells you that God spoke to them, they think you're crazy. They want to lock your ass up in a Christian institution because God spoke to your ass. But what the hell? You've been talking so long, why wouldn't you be getting an answer? Why should it be so strange if there is a God and somebody's saying I'm getting answers, somebody's talking to me, God is telling me to do it, why shouldn't I believe you? if God is out there to be spoken to? You doing all this damn praying. The work of the geneticist, the new Gnostic, the process of cross-pollination causes all forms of deformity. And how does this happen? How does deformity become created? Okay, I'll tell you, putting insects into insect genes into humans, putting all kind of animal things and cross-pollinating, doing all kind of crazy things out of your mind, disturbing the order, only because you know that the present order cannot keep those who are us getting ready to leave, getting ready to get on the good freedom ship to get the fuck out of here. They know they got to stop that journey. The exodus is now. It's getting ready to happen. The so-called Moses that is the light that is you, your realization, self-realization that you call your Moses energy, leading you out of the land of bondage, the bondage of this three-dimensional consciousness time zone. You're about to lead your damn self out, and they got to stop that journey. How do you stop this particular journey? Because all journeys of consciousness begin where? Within. So you can't be putting all kind of tubes and stuff on the outside, because inside is going to always bypass that bullshit. As a matter of fact, the physical body was meant to solve problems, meant to overcome adversities. So you could put all kind of chips, you could put a plug right up his asshole, and he's going to find a way to bypass that. So you got to get him at the essential level, where spirit, where light synthesizes and condenses and liquefies into the bloodstream. The direct connect, you got to get him there. The gene can be taught to synergize with the pig. Now let me tell you, a gene can be taught to synergize with the pig. And when eaten by man over a period of time, along with vaccinations, of course, you got to get 54 of them, remember. Now, why would you need to get 54 goddamn vaccinations? Unless it's to terraform you and to make you more susceptible to the species change that they got planned for you. The pig gene will teach the human body, after it's been introduced enough times, to interface with it. You see some motherfucker walking around with a big snout and a cloven hoof. An extreme danger to the genetic integrity of the human is when genes are deliberately implanted into the genome of a tomato, for instance, which don't become inactive in the tomato. Check it. The genes that are implanted into the tomato don't become inactive by the fact that the tomato becomes a tomato. In other words, it doesn't become part of the tomato construct. It's active. But are aimed in your tomato, these new genes that they're putting in is aimed at the human brain. It is possible now to introduce what are known as buddy genes or soul mates, and that's S-O-L-E. That's for the sole purpose of mates, or what is called accompanying genes that become active only when you take it into a human construct. In other words, it's inactive while it's in the tomato, but when it comes into interfacing with your chemistry, it comes to life. It is possible now to introduce these buddy genes. The only problem for the geneticist would be to keep this buddy gene inactive in the food until it is taken in by the organism. This brain gene has no purpose or function in the tomato whatsoever. It is inserted specifically so that whoever eats this tomato absorbs and then activates this brain gene. The gene is then received by receptors in the brain that correspond to the artificial brain gene and is then synthesized with the DNA of the person. Now they say, well, that's impossible. How the hell does that happen? It does not happen just by a whim. Your body has to be slowly degenerated in order to accommodate this kind of change. A body that's in pristine health will not accommodate it because it will recognize the intrusion and then all forms. But complete. It's like, what? What you doing here? Out? That's it. They ain't coming up in here. We got everybody's sane here. Everybody know who they are here. We know we don't know you. But if you have a retarded bloodstream based upon all the filth that the cow pus and the monkey pus and all the crap that you eat, the sugar, the salts, not the real sugars, not the real salts, I'm talking all the crap you breathe, everything that begins to degenerate the river of life and slowly dim the river of light. Now, under stealth, special forces, which essentially are what? Special forces are essentially the geneticists and their particular agents and their particular kind of, ordinances. Will go in under cover of ignorance and under cover of a polluted blood. Yes, own you. Brother put it succinctly. Own you. The gene is then received by receptors in the brain that corresponds to the artificial brain gene and is then synthesized with the DNA of that person. The destination of such brain genes is first and foremost the original parts of the brain. That means your so-called reptilian part, the part that is first grown in the womb, the part that helps to be the stem from which the flower, the lotus, blooms. Understand what I just said? The stem from which the lotus blooms. The lotus don't bloom if the stem is cut or if the stem has some form of impediment in it. And you could put certain types of artificial receptors there that take the natural flow of light and energy and completely changes them around so the lotus blooms out as a cactus or some shit. Now, the destination of these so-called, and I'm using this word brain genes, is first of all the original parts of the brain. And that original part of the brain is the limbic system. And the limbic system is a group of brain-structured nodules that include the hippocampus, the amygdala, the dentate gyrus, the cingulate gyrus, the gyrus fornicatus. Yeah. The gyrus fornicatus. The arch cortex. And their interconnections and connections with the hippocampus, the septal area, and the medical area of the mesosouth, okay, hold on for me. These motherfuckers put all this long shit here. Mesencephalic. And phallic being, you know what, right? Mesencephalic tegmentum. It must be something like a dick sticking up in your brain somewhere. This system is activated by motivated behavior and arousal, and it influences the endocrine system, and the autonomic motor systems. Now, the endocrine system is what helps you make sure that you are either male or female. It tells you how to distribute all the nutrients. It tells you where to put everything, how your body is supposed to function. The endocrine system is like the baddest part of the system. It makes all of the hormones and makes sure the hormones are healthy. Fuck with that, and you know, guys are walking around and women are walking around. You don't know what's what. Yes, brother, you had, no? Okay. So the genes implanted in the tomato don't cause the tomato to grow or even live longer, only to manipulate man. It is the ultimate medium for control of humanity through the manipulation of food. Remember, I mentioned earlier that food and eating of food is a form of communication. Eating is a form of communication. Eating is a form of information transfer. Because everything that you eat is based upon your synergistic communication with nature and nature communicating her love and her beneficence to you. So when you eat, you can't be talking all kind of bullshit. You can't be arguing with somebody. You can't be yelling and screaming. You could be in a nice temple there, you could be doing, but you could be eating. I have a problem eating, sometimes looking at TV. But then when I'm eating, I'm getting pissed off. You know? So, unless you are completely girded against the bullshit, you know, don't eat and absorb shit when you eat. You're supposed to be eating around something real calm. You're supposed to be listening to breezes blow, you know? You're supposed to be hearing the breath in your head. You're supposed to be hearing the chewing. You're supposed to be feeling and synergizing with the food. Oh, thank you, broccoli, you know. You know, thank you. And oh, this is so good. Oh, yeah. And eating with the fingers like children. You know, just getting messy with it, you know. Just loving your food. One to one. The only society that eats with inorganic, we're supposed to steal between you and your food. At least the Chinese and them put the wood, and wooden bowls, wooden spoons, at least have some kind of frequency vibration with the food. The wood is alive. That's cool. But the hand pre-digests the food. The hand, the energy in the hand and the fingers communicates to the body. The aura is already picking up what you got in your hand. Before it even hits your mouth, you got the right digestive juices in the mouth. Why do you think babies look so happy when they have food all over them? The whole body is enjoying this. It's sucking it up in the pores and everything. Eating is information transfer, because the nutrient base that's within that life form that you are sacrificing, that you are giving up, that is giving up its life for you, that information is being transferred. The information of the light of the sun, photosynthesis, what the earth has been telling. Information from a plant that picks up information. Plants talk to one another from around the world. They don't just speak to one another. You read The Secret Life of Plants. They speak. They had this dude, he was standing there, and he hooked up an oscillator or some kind of equipment to a cantaloupe, and he was about to smash this other cantaloupe, and the cantaloupe energy started going off the scale. As if it was alive, like it knew what you were going to do to the other cantaloupe. So everything that is a byproduct of life is alive. So when you are eating live food, you're supposed to be in thanks. You're supposed to be in great humor, in surrender, and in love. And I mean, that's the way. You cannot be poisoned with that kind of attitude. You cannot. I don't give a damn if you're putting down hemlock. You have this love. It knows you. Food knows you by the way you are with it. It knows you from the beginning. Now, let me describe what a gene is. A gene, to me, metaphysically, is a resonance or frequency receptor. Listen to me carefully now. I hope I'm not losing you. Are you all right? Yeah. You sure you're all right? You can just, like do this. I won't be embarrassed. Yawn and stretch it out. And, do a dance step, wiggle a little bit, get the blood flowing. Because remember now, while you're sitting here in front of me, all the blood that you would normally be using to digest food is coming up to the brain to digest my words. You see, all the blood is up here now. That's why some of y'all are saying, well, damn, it's too much blood. I can't take it. Because you get an overload. Yes, brother.
Is that the Human Genome Project? Is that the reason why it's hooked up with the Department of Energy?
Oh, yeah, not only the Department of Energy is hooked up with the Pentagon. Okay? You said the Human Genome Project. There's a Human Genome Project that is funded by the government. Matter of fact, it's made up of scientists from around the world. And it's funded through the Department of Energy, which is funded directly through the Pentagon, which is funded actually directly through the Jason organization, which is the super scientists. All this bullshit you see with, taking water and turning it to steam, that ain't nothing. There are levels of science that they practice. This is practiced at the highest level.
So that's what the movie was about.
What?
They mixed fusion with the human genome, used for the battery.
Oh, yeah, to turn them into the battery. Yeah. Well, that's what the whole movie is about. You got it right there. Yeah, IBM, AT&T, GE, all blue chippers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Oh, phew, big boss has spoken. Now, the gene is a resonance or frequency receptor. The gene is a translator of light and sound frequencies into information. Hello. Let me say that one more time. The gene is a translator of light and sound frequencies into information or aton. Informing atom, informing, the informing of the sun informing. When you get information, you are forming light within you. That's what information is. Whatever you get in as sound, you process. And that process becomes you. That's what information is. The instructions form you. You form yourself from what you are given of the word. This is communicated to the cellular complex at large.